Completing your profile to attract your ideal customer.
And welcome back to LinkedIn to Lead Generation with Hannah Tighe. Hannah, we're doing a 4-part series on, distinguishing good touch from bad touch on LinkedIn, which I think is great. But what are we talking about in this episode?
Sure. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to complete your profile so that you can attract your ideal client, right? So you can only make one first impression, right? Sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm a little crazy today. Obviously, this morning's not the best one. But anyway, you can only make one first impression. So you want to make sure that it's a good one, so that when you actually reach out to connect to people, people look at you and they're like, oh, that looks like someone I want to connect to. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Excellent. So let's give people just a quick overview of what the 3 main points we're going to hit in this episode so they know what's coming, and then we'll go into those.
Sure. So we're going to talk about your picture, because that's obviously, something that's really important. Shows up all throughout LinkedIn whenever you do anything. We're going to talk about your headline, and we're going to talk about your summary.
Excellent. All right, so let's dig in there so that people really can tell good from bad here. Good touch, bad touch. So let's start with having an attractive picture on LinkedIn. Why is that important? And give us the good touch version of a good picture and the bad touch version of
Yes. So when you do your profile picture, you want to think about, how you're presenting yourself and what kind of network that you're on. So it's a business networking site. So you want to make sure that you're dressed in professional attire. You want to keep it, probably about shoulders and up, okay? And you want to make sure that you're looking directly in the camera, you're smiling, you're open, you're warm, all those things, because people are going to be coming to you with their issues and their problems for you to help solve, right? So you want to look approachable. So that's a good touch.
Okay, so what shouldn't you do, and what would be a bad way to present yourself in your profile picture?
Sure. So you don't want to be like creepy guy over here. When someone actually, clicks on you, you don't want to look creepy, right? You want to look professional, like I said. You don't want to have any, like, you're out at a summer concert. It's great that you're a cool, fun, exciting person, but, riding your Harley, having the romantic, dinner date with your wife, where there's like the 2 of you, that's not a professional profile. The kids and you at Disney World, that's awesome that you got to go, but that doesn't tell me anything about you professionally. And I'm looking on this site for you to help me with my professional problems. So I want to know that you are professional and you have that mindset. Okay, so the beer pong pictures and the pictures of you, kind of looking like a little bit non-professional.
No, well, that's the thing. I don't know about you, Hannah, I've been cringing a little more than usual lately on LinkedIn. I don't know if it's just that I've been paying attention differently, but I've been noticing people doing sort of Facebook-y stuff on LinkedIn more than I thought I was noticing before. And I'm like, ooh, what? That's just not kind of what this room is about.
And the Match.com. It's like their Match.com too, with all the stuff hanging out. Hey, girl, great, glad that you got it, but like we don't need to see it, So, or guys.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, there's some things that I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah.
We've talked before about keeping in mind that, really LinkedIn is kind of this virtual version of going to a networking event. And I think some people are losing sight of that a little bit. And so would you really dress like that at a networking event? Would you really, show people that picture if you're trying to close some business kind of thing? This is a much more businessy kind of side of social media. So yeah, it's social, but it's business. It's business casual, right? It's not
exactly.
It's not party time.
Exactly. So, and that's what you want people to, their mind to switch to that, because again, they are looking for professional services that can help them, right? So that's their mindset.
So, an attractive professional picture, kind of important. And I'll just throw in one more pet peeve, which is sort of the no-touch version of this instead of good touch, bad, is, I can't believe how many people still have the gray silhouette. I mean, enough said. Your face is your logo on social media,
and
right?
it follows you throughout LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
So get serious about it.
Decide what your look is going to be and stick to it.
Right.
All right, so let's move on. Part 2 here was having a headline that makes sense. So what's a good touch headline and what's a bad touch headline?
So a good touch headline is, and again, this also follows you. So when someone is looking in search and for someone with your skill set, and it says account exec, account exec, account exec, and it doesn't really say anything, you're not going to stand out, right? So in order to really put your best foot forward, you want to use the keywords that people are looking to find you, okay, and what your specialty is. And then you want to talk about how you help your clients. So, helping small businesses with their, with tax resolution, or whatever it is that you're looking that you do. Talk specifically about how you help.
Mm-hmm. Right. Make it about them. Right.
Make it about them.
Give people a benefit statement of why they should work with you. Right.
Right. Because it's all about them. It's not about you.
Right. Exactly. This line is to attract somebody who wants your service or your product or whatever it is you can do for them. So tell them what you do. Right.
Right, and so that when they're looking in this sea of people, that they can actually identify, oh, this person actually specializes in, like my title says, simplifying social media so you get results. Okay, so when people, and instead of like social media expert, I talk about, people want results. That's what they're looking for, right? Yeah. So I nail that pain point, and they can read that and identify with that. Like, oh, this is my problem, and this is her expertise.
Mm-hmm. So the bad touch version is it's just too much of just like an index file of what you do, kind of, or your title, right? It's too boring, right, too bland, and too much like what everyone else's is going to look like in that sort of list if they're doing a search, right? So
So for instance, it might be like real estate agent at Fox Realty, or where.
How does that differentiate you, right?
Exactly.
If I'm searching for a realtor, I've already searched for that. You're going to come up, but now there's a whole list of everyone that says realtor. What could you put in that tagline that makes you jump out of that list?
Right. Do you specialize in investment properties, or vacation homes, or first-time buyers, or whatever it is? So you really want to make sure that you stand out from the crowd.
Excellent. All right, so we got some good touch, bad touch tips here for how to get your headline to actually work for you. So let's talk about the all-important summary then. This is your chance to shine, right? So what's the good touch version of a good summary, and what's the bad touch version of a not so good summary?
So a good summary talks a little bit about the experience that you've had throughout your career and your skill set, and how it can actually help your target client solve those issues. So you want to identify what those issues are, and maybe some of the keywords that will really stand out to these people, and you want to talk to them and kind of like make your sales pitch. So think of it as like your 30-second commercial. When you meet someone at a networking event, you kind of find out a little bit, and you kind of talk about the things that you can bring to the table, to hopefully help them. And that's what you want to do here.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how many I've seen lately that really aren't using this real estate at all. I mean, they're just putting like a one-liner or a two-liner. I mean, you've got a space here to make a statement, to make a message that's going to resonate with the people you're trying to attract and do business with. Why leave that empty,
Right, and again, this is a prime opportunity for you to really talk directly and make that case and try and make that connection, where you're really putting in your personality, who you are, how you approach things, maybe some of the successes. I mean, this is like great prime real estate, just like you said. So,
right. And you can actually add media now too, right? I mean, that's been there for a while, and a lot of people don't, but
call to action at the end where they can find out more.
Obviously, you can put a video in there. You can put a PowerPoint presentation in there. You can put some graphics that are eye-catching and really help people understand what you're all about. And that those visuals might actually entice them to read the summary in the first place, right? So.
Right.
So what's the bad version? You know, I mean, we talk about some here. I mean, not using it right, or you know, the opposite of what you're doing. But you know, what's a good example of what you really don't want to?
Well, so you know, what I really love is when people just randomly start, you know, like a robot. They look like they're writing a computer program, where they just have all the listed keywords everywhere. And you know, hey, it's great that you obviously went to not the best LinkedIn training course
Right.
where they talked about trying to game the system, you know, by making sure you stuff keywords in there. You know, you want to make sure, again, that it's a personal kind of thing where it's written naturally, where you're not just artificially stuffing keywords everywhere, because that just makes you look bad. No one's going to connect to that. They're going to look at that and they're going to say, what is this girl or guy doing here? I mean, that's bizarre. So
right, you're going to look good to the search algorithm, so you're going to pop up in search, but then the person's going to read your profile and be turned off. So what was the point of popping up in the search, right?
Exactly.
Shooting yourself in the foot. All right, so Hannah, you know, I set us up here in the beginning of this episode saying this is part 1 of 4 that we're going to do, all about good touch, bad touch on LinkedIn here. You know, so we covered a bunch of things here about the importance of having an attractive, you know, picture, having good use of that eye-catching headline space that you got there, and then of course the all-important summary where you can actually make a statement. So if you don't want to miss out on the rest of these, make sure you you know, connect with Hannah on her YouTube channel. That's where these are going to be. But more importantly, I hope you're getting as much value out of these as I get. See, I do these sessions with Hannah because she's teaching me a lot about LinkedIn, and it's very valuable to me. So I hope you're paying attention. But if you want to connect with Hannah, her information is coming up on screen in just a second, and you really do want to connect with Hannah if you want to use LinkedIn in a powerful way. So Hannah, until our next episode, I'll see you then.
Thanks, Mark.